ugly truth to the matter is what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. I can imagine how many Roman procurators, centurions, Caesars, couriers, patricians, and even some plebeians that reach high status in Roman society may have dictated from their baths. Romans are most famous for baths, I might add. Taking the accent of my friend, the market sniper, I think it's pretty cool the way he talks. He talks, it's pretty cool. You listen, and he narrates. It's cool how he narrates it. He's an educated guy. He's not dumb. Not that I'm saying anyone else is, or that I am. But on to the subject at hand here. Midway through my military career, I had an opportunity to spend some time with some Korean War veterans. And even after my military career, and I started a career after a brief stint of culinary school and becoming a chef in Napa Valley, I decided cooking wasn't for me. Didn't like, what it was I went to work one morning, I opened up the kitchen, and for the 1 millionth time I passed a box of cream of wheat. We just sat there, nobody ate cream of wheat. The box was just there. And nobody ate this box of cream of wheat. And it sat there. And finally it dawned on me, mind you, we're at Rancho Solano Country Club, at the heart of Napa Valley near Woodard. A pretty much affluent area, to my audience, it would be affluent. In some other circles, it would be the beacon of affluency, the beginning of new money. There's parts of Napa Valley where there is strictly old money, considering it's the Western world. Right. And it's not New York or East Coast, it's California. So old money considering the geographics. So I passed this box for maybe box sitting there, was there when I took the kitchen over, and had been there for some time after I took it over. And my executive chef, Tony Cross, mind you, Jesuit educated from Jesuit school. Actually, my sister went to a Jesuit school, college. Anyways, back to the story. I decided that my people had been doing this for long enough to the point where nobody is even eating that. So I quit. Started a construction business because I had experience in construction as a kid. Ran into a few guys that showed me a few tricks about how to build kitchens. So I began to do that. And then I run into a half Cherokee Indian, half white, half quarter black, whatever quarter it is, quarter this, quarter that. Indian guy that was in the Marines during the Korean War, and he worked for me. And he would chant at the stars and the nine. He knew the chants. He knew the Cherokee language well. And he would tell me these stories about the Korean War. We played dominoes or cards. After the job, he'd come to the house and we'd have a drink. Not too uncommon. And he would tell me this history of the United States. And I argued with him. It couldn't be true because it's not in the history books. Like the Indian Wars went a lot further into time to the present day than what the history book says. The Battle of Big Little Horn didn't take place when they said it did. The Indians were one of the most well-equipped guerrilla forces ever. Subsequently, they were receiving funds to conduct their wars from entities I don't want to speak about. Well, I'll tell you. They were receiving all their firepower from the enemies of the Union. Go and look and see who the enemies of the Union were. Number one, Albert Pike. Far back in history, they used him as a Federalist. He's in the DC and they honor and cherish him. That tells you these people don't take sides and they'll use the enemy to kill their own in a drop of a hat. Subsequently, you got the communists, which the Masons are in bed with. You getting what I'm saying? And I do wear Masonic regalia, but I'm more science. But since more science is so suppressed, I express my science in Masonry. Back to the what I'm getting at. So the communists like to use their people or your people as cannon fodder. When you find out when the Chinese invented the gun, that's exactly what they did. They amassed many guns together and blew the enemy down to the point to where you couldn't get through the dead bodies to get the fight. The fight was getting through the dead bodies. So on that level, I would venture to say that the Chinese just didn't come up with gunpowder. But what comes with the ability to kill thousands and thousands of people? Germ warfare. Yeah, a man can hack down thousands with a sword, maybe 100 men can maybe hack down 1,000. But with the gun, the numbers totally increase. How do you deploy virus? They told me that they pushed the population against you. Impeachment trials. Trump's this, Trump's that. That didn't work. So now we're gonna use a virus attack. First wave tourists from China coming to the United States show up at hospitals, infect hospital staff. This is how all this happened. More people come into the hospital because they don't know what they have, and the staff doesn't even know they have it, and infect more people. People get more sick, go back to the hospital. They already have the antidote. Because you see the president and all of them in the hospital, what do they call them, directors, or whatever they might call the administrators in the hospital, don't have it. But the few cases where doctors are getting sick, make CNN highlights along with the already deceased doctors that they perpetrate that are still alive. In interviews that took place years ago. And now they've kept the interview for years, and now it's finally the day of fame is taking place in 2020, and the video was done in 2018, 2017. A couple along with fake business in Capitol Hill. Cameras pointed to a speaker of the House chair that is empty with clerks walking around the desk with no elected official present. The president speaking in the most dire time in the United States history, corporation of the United States history. No seal, no presidential seal. I will be following Donald Trump. There is no reason at this point to follow him. Start following your state governors. Why am I talking about this? Do I plan on changing things? Can I change it? No. I'm saying all of this, excuse me, is because I believe in numerology and gematria. And what's going on in the operations down at the ground level with Secure Tactical. Number one, myself, me. I'm at a place called Southwest Bank. And it is mostly Chinese. And I want to talk about a good friend of mine that is a regular security officer that works that post. When I initially started there, I went, I, let me start. I have worked there before. One day here, Friday, maybe a Saturday here, 2 days here or there. Never wanted to be permanent. Always rejected that place. Well, when I got there this time, after the Joan and the good friend of mine, the Honorable Mr. J, I will call him, got sick. So I initially got there, and the usual racism you get from the management there. And it dawns on me they don't give a shit about Mr. J, the Honorable J, at all. He's just cannon fodder. Well, it's obvious, that's how the Chinese think. They think in mass, everything has to be together, you know, and nothing's spread out. Should we blame the Japanese for the effectiveness of a rudimentary atomic weapon? I'm not even gonna go there. It's too easy. What's Wuhan? It operates in areas where the people are in mass. You know. So I get there and I start running my regular office. I'm not inside the bank, I'm outside the bank. Why? Because if the guys, robbers, bad guys, get inside the bank, I've already failed. If I can, because the officer is in a box, has very little choices and has no mobility compared to being outside. And if I can catch them in their box, inside their vehicles, then I have the upper hand. The administrators and the Chinese employees and the Chinese manager have no concept of this. What I'm saying is a counter-strike is possible, but you have to, number one, be informed about the enemy's operations and the enemy's tactics and who the enemy is. And because a few thousand people died in Europe, don't get it twisted. A few thousand people died in India. A few people died in Japan. Well, not even about, hardly anywhere. Right? That you don't think this is an attack on America. It's far easier to do it this way than to destroy infrastructure that the world really needs. They don't, the world can survive with a U.S. economy that's not going full blast. But the world does not have the resources to rebuild a destroyed America. And America rebuilt the world, destroyed world. So the destruction of America is not upon us, but the serious control, constraints are. This test tube, this bank I work at, is a glimpse into the Asian mind, even deeper, the Asian psychology. And the Asians that work there are generally the women. So I get a Masonic view of an Asian woman to the T. Just like how the sons of Europe studied Moors. They studied the woman. I get a clear opportunity to study the Asian woman. Very deceptive. Very easy to anger. Always want their way. I will continue these studies. I'll be there for today is my last day. That's why I'm making this report. But I need to do some housekeeping for hopefully Mr. J that sees this or hears this, and for whatever guards from Homeland Protection that are a part of the detail that covers that bank. While standing out front, because generally you can't see anything sitting in the bank because there are no cameras where the security officer sits, being a sitting duck, if I can add that, blind, in addition to that, being outside, there is a couple active groups that want to rob that bank, which you would never know exists sitting inside of the bank. Mr. Durden, or Mr. J, I'm sorry. The way he runs his job is the way he has to, because they are very suggestive there about being Asian and massing together, togetherness. He has to deal with it. Subsequently, it makes them a sitting duck, all of them. And I'm binding all this to, if I can use the word, to make a holistic, classical approach to the problem at hand, and a classical study. I was happy to be able to piss them off, do things my way, knew I could leave, and make that environment safer for my fellow officers that have to go back in there. So what I did is I scared the shit out of everybody that drove in there. But being alert, present, hand on my gun, I even scared the moving company, the U-Haul across the street. They don't even want to go in the parking lot to check vehicles in and out. I did that for my team. Because in this current environment, when no one's working, the bank is going to get hit. And while Mr. Jackson, sorry, I'll just say his name, is over there pleasing the Chinese with standing by their side, changing the date on the calendar, fucking around with the drapes, because that's what they want. You're gonna get 4 or 5 gunmen burst through that window, take control over the building, and Mr. Jackson cannot see a damn thing sitting in a chair in front of the left front lobby without any cameras. They don't give a shit about him. Asians are extremely cool people. And I have one more day there to give them a taste of their own medicine. This is Jay Williams, #1, Secure Tactical. Hope you enjoyed that picture. I'll put some names to it. That is real, by the way. Ask yourself, Why would a bunch of Moors, which those men were not blacks, they were fighting for the Confederacy. They were considered native guard. Fight for the Confederacy in 1861. At some point, you gotta wake up.